Okay, let's get into it. It is week 2 of Charity's season of The Bachelorette, and it is also 4th of July, and my dog may bark because there's fireworks going on. She does not like that. But let's get into it. So there's 19 men left, and I had to take note because Charity, there she goes. Charity is so beautiful. This Barbie is the Bachelorette. She looks like the black Barbie of my youth. She looks just like her. She looks beautiful. Her skin, it's like, it's flawless. Flawless. Let's set the scene. Aaron is still, unfortunately, flipping his coin. Adrian shares that he also has a daughter, so he's not here. He's serious, guys. He's serious. And Jesse comes in and he's wearing a nice warm sweater and he looks so cute. And he thankfully comments on Braden's outfit, which is a little chaotic. And I don't know if Chris Harrison would have made a comment on his outfit. But that's why we love Jesse, because he's got the emotional intelligence to make fun of someone's outfit in a room full of men. And I'm gonna put my glasses on because I'm old now and I can't read anything without them. Okay, so the dates this week, there's gonna be 2 group dates and 1 one-on-one. Aaron B is the lucky winner of the date, the one-on-one date, and he kisses his coin. And then Charity arrives in a cherry red Mustang convertible, and Aaron S seems jealous, not of the date, but that Aaron gets to go ride in that Mustang, which, same. I would love to ride around in that Mustang. It looks so fun. I mean, the date between the two of them, I mean, God, it was so boring, but you know, I think I would have made the best of it if I had been there. Aaron B and Charity are like really similar. They both grew up in military families, which I didn't realize. They both have military dads, and they both spent Sunday morning listening to old school music, 6 a.m. because their dads are in the military, which, well, that sucks. And then and they kind of were doing a lot of mirroring with their voice, like when their voices were going up and down, they were kind of mirroring each other sonically. And then they go and have like a little champs at the Hollywood sign, and which Charity mentions. I think she mentioned this in the last episode, but I didn't comment on it. That her parents have been married for 48 years, which is, they look like they were in their 40s. But if they've been married for 48 years, that probably means they're late 60s. Damn. And what do you know? They both want a nice, long-term, successful marriage. That's what, I feel like that's what everybody wants. I don't think everybody who's divorced at some point wanted that. But anyway, you're special because you want that. You share that value. I guess everybody shares that value, but only not with everybody. You only want a long-term successful marriage with somebody who drives you crazy. Anyway, okay. Back at the mansion, Aaron is talking man-to-man with Adrian. They're both kind of like serious guys. And Adrian says he's just sitting back and observing. Which it's like, that means that he's gonna be the one to get in the fights, which he does. Back to the date, they go actually hike around the Hollywood sign, which you have to need special permission to do. Aaron says this is why we take this, and this is why we take risks. Because now we're taking this risk of going on this show, so now I get to be one of the few who gets to hike around the Hollywood sign. Now, I would only really like this date if we were breaking the law, or like if he like the guy like was like, oh, like I'm the one who cleans the sign, so it's no problem for us to go, or like something like that. Like, I don't want to go where everybody knows we went and got permission. Like, it doesn't feel dangerous. But anyway, that's just me. Oh, and then he flips the coin again. Hopefully this is the last time, and he reveals that yes, it is a trick coin, which I knew it. and then they kiss, and they kiss at the L because the L stands for love. Okay, the sun sets, they go to dinner, they go to like a big theater, and their names are on the marquee. Still, they are just riding the things in common train. They both have 2 brothers. They're both closest with the youngest brother. Aaron talks about his failed 4-year relationship. He was in college. He wasn't a good listener. And then he went to therapy. And then, now this is funny because like he didn't really share anything like that deep or anything, but like on Charity's face when he says he's been to therapy, like him just saying that, I think is kind of like, she's not used to dating men who admit they go to therapy, which is like, I'm like, maybe like she's just not dating the same neurotic pieces of shit that I do, that it's just like a given that you go to therapy. and it doesn't seem to be helping them. He says he has a lot of pride and he has trouble being vulnerable, probably because of that military dad. And Charity says that she's learning to love herself, and that Zach was a safe space. And we get a brief cutaway to Zach, which is like, put him in the past, like, ugh. Anyway, and then back at the mansion, there's a knock at the door for a group date for Suns Out, Buns Out. And Brayden says he's gonna go work on his buns. And then the villain music plays. So they're really setting him up for success. So back on the date, Charity is blushing and she says she can trust her gut. And Aaron says he wants her in his corner, and they kiss. And then they do the thing that they do every season that I hate. Now, it's like, I want to say that like one of my favorite things about the show, everyone's always like, I wish they would mix it up, get a new format, blah, blah, blah. But I love the traditional format. Like, I love how it's like a show about monogamy, but it's really not about monogamy. And like, that's why it's fun to watch, like, because everyone's melting down all the time because they can't handle like living in a house of people who are dating the same person that you like. Anyway, I love the irony of that, or is that irony? Anyway, I don't know. But this is one thing that I cannot stand. I mean, I love music. Why does it have to be a country musician every time, and they have to have they're alone with them? It's like the worst music, A, that I wouldn't want to listen to, and then B, it doesn't matter if it's my favorite band. I don't think I would want to be the only people in the room while they play a solo concert. To me, it is my nightmare, and I wish they would just switch it out for something else. I don't have a lot of criticism of the format of the show. This is one of them. It's like, why does it have to be country? Why does it have to be a solo concert? Anyway, but Charity and Aaron are kissing up a storm. They seem to really enjoy it. He gets a rose. They twirl and twirl. Charity is hopeful and happy. She does, I think, 3 times on this date say that she is having so much fun and that she is very happy. She keeps saying she's happy. So I think Charity is like having such a good time being the Bachelorette, which is great. So the next day, they're back on the beach for their group date, and they start building sandcastles. And they put a audio clip of one of the guys saying, "This is fun," like making sandcastles. And they're playing like touch football, and then ding dong, Jesse comes, and he announces they're going to be doing the 4th Dodge Bowl. And the winners of the Dodge Bowl will go to the after party, and they have to wear Speedos. And Aaron S. reveals that he is a fan of the show because he references Yosef, who was on Claire Crawley's season, which is before the start of my Bachelor fandom. I did not watch that season, but apparently for her Dodge Bowl, she had them play naked. And Yosef, one of the contestants, was like, this is not right. My daughter's watching at home. This is wrong. Which I kind of tend to agree with Yosef. I mean, this is my, like, playing dodgeball at all is my nightmare. But having to play naked, oh my God. Like, no wonder Yosef. Yeah, and then he like, you have to be so masculine to play, so he couldn't admit that he was like like really unnerved in his confidence playing naked dodgeball. So he had to blame it on his daughter, on a female who wasn't there. But I have to say, I agree. This is like Claire making live. She like truly asked him to play dodgeball naked. That is a sadistic woman. And yeah, no, thank you. Like, no, thank you. Like I would have been like one of the girls to be like, I don't feel so good. I'm gonna sit this one out. I have my period. I would have invoked my period. But men can't do that. And I'm so glad. This is like the kind of thing that makes me, I'm so glad I'm not a man, because this is a nightmare. Anyway, but I did enjoy watching them in the Speedos. They did look good. And here are, oh, and they also kept slipping in the Wilhelm scream throughout the game, which I thought was very funny. And also the spectators, like there's no net or anything, and these guys are like football, like these guys all played football in college. I feel like the balls are coming hard, fast. They're like cannonballs, and this women watching on the sidelines keep getting hit, and it's like, I don't know, like you would have to be very alert if you're a spectator of this game, and B, how do you get to be a spectator at this? It would be so fun to spend a day at the beach and watch these boys play dodgeball in their Speedos. Oh my God. How do you get it? How do you get that invite? Anyway, the takeaways from the game is that Xavier is really good. Kayla B seemed to be having the most fun. John was eliminated by Adrian at one point, and then Xavier won against Adrian at one point. Anyway, I think they played 5 rounds. The pink team won. The MVP was Adrian. And then as they were walking away, I made note that Caleb, the wrestler, his legs are massive. And I think, is my favorite. I think he's the hottest one. I love him. He seems like such a fun character. Oh my God. Anyway, now they're going to the pink team's going to the after party. And Braden takes a seat with Charity. And Charity says again, she's very happy. She's having a great time. They kiss. Oh, and then Braden says it's like in Avatar when their braids intertwine and they connect their braids. Ugh. Braden's not for me, but Charity seems to really like him. Anyway, then John takes a seat with her. He reveals he played basketball at some point. Charity was a competitive cheerleader. They kiss, and she says that she saw a different side of him today, and she really liked seeing his competitive side, because he did win a round, I think, or he almost won a round. Anyway, so I think she's not really that into John, but he's a maybe now, because he brought his game to the dodgeball event, and B, he initiated a kiss with her. So she likes to be dominated. Which, yeah, girl, me too. Braden's back with the boys on the sofas, and it's kind of like the curse of getting the first rose. He's like, I know, I want this rose, and I want all. You get greedy. He's like, he wants the game MVP rose, and he wants the date night rose, and he wants every rose there is. It's like that Christina Mandrell when she shot herself in the foot. She got too greedy about the roses, and all the girls had a coup against her, and then she had a meltdown. She got kicked off because Zach can't handle any drama. Braden says he wouldn't have picked Adrian as MVP because Adrian won MVP. And Adrian has really thin skin, and he immediately is like, well, why do you think I'm here and he's not here? And then Braden just kind of keeps poking at him, and Adrian keeps getting annoyed and madder, and they become enemies. And then Adrian at one point says that he's in touch with his feelings. I would say he's not. I would say he's not in touch with his feelings. I'd say he has them. He has feelings. Anyway, then Adrian gets the hot seat with Charity. He reveals to her that he does have a daughter, and she's way more impressed with him having a daughter than Spencer having a daughter, because I think, she thinks Adrian's hot. She's actually attracted to him, whereas Spencer, she's not so much. And he says that he is here to be serious. And that he thinks the other guys in the house are just playing around, and it's like they're acting like they're all on spring break, which Charity takes this to heart and is like, oh no, everybody's on spring break. Everyone's here for the wrong reasons. But to be honest, like, I would want to know who's having the most fun in the house. Like, that's who I would want to date. Like, I want to be like, who is having the most fun in the house? Who is the most fun? I don't want to be with wet blanket Adrian starting fights with everybody. It's like, go away. So be so serious. We're on a TV show. Anyway, I'm not a fan of Adrian. Charity's upset. She says she makes an announcement to the group. She doesn't want men who are here for spring break. And then she gets John the group date rose because she saw a new side of him today. Yeah, again, Brayden and Adrian are butting heads. Adrian says he's like, I don't know, I just see a lot of playing games in the house. It's like, well, why don't you play? Why don't you join in the fun, Adrian? Everybody else is having fun except for you. You're the common denominator of you not having fun. Anyway, Brayden says he wants someone to love him for the way he looks at life, for his fun, loving way of looking at life, which, like, yeah, I mean, we saw his package. He's jumping off rocks and going scuba diving and doing all kinds of crazy shit. So, like, are we surprised that he likes to do backflips into the pool? No. Anyway, okay, now we're on the second group date, and Gabby and Rachel are here, which I love to see them. Big fans. They're on a stage, there's a crowd. Again, I would have rather been to the dodgeball, but this also, I mean, any invitation, I would come to this. I would love it. Anyway, they reveal today the winner of this challenge they're gonna break the record for the longest Bachelor Nation kiss. I think it's Bachelorette or Bachelor because they reference Sean Lowe, who held the record for 3 minutes, 22 seconds. So they ask the boys some questions. Where do you put your hands? And then Gabby says wrong answers only, and the girls crack up because that's funny. And then they have the boys make out with their hands. Like, ugh. It's like, I don't know. And then Rachel points out that Joey's making eye contact with Charity every chance he gets, which that's something that Rachel would notice and like, because she got so upset on her season when none of the men would make eye contact with her at the wrestling match. Anyway, long story short, Joey wins and put the seconds on the clock because they're in for they go for 4 minutes 25 seconds. They keep showing the men all are lined up like they're in a firing squad having to watch the Joey and Charity make out, and they don't like it. And Joey gets a one-on-one in the evening. So that's a big win for him. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, the boys spill the beans about the kiss to the boys who weren't on the date, and Aaron S. seems offended. And honestly, I would like to see more Aaron S. because he seems like the bitchiest one, and he's a fan of the show, and he just seems more entertaining than Adrian and Brayden's weird fight. I just want to hear more Aaron commentary. I think there's some nuggets they're holding back from us with him. Anyway, so, yeah, Aaron S. is offended. Brayden is sickened. Adrian picks a fight with Brayden, and because it's like because just Brayden's just so offended. He's just like, oh my God, like I would have just got up and left. Like I would have just gone, and the guys were just like, well, no, I mean, we had a good time. Like it was fine. Like we made the best of it. And Brayden's like, no, like that. And then Adrian's like, why are you telling him how to feel? Why are you telling him how to feel? And he's like, I didn't. I just said I would leave. And he was just like, why are you telling him how to feel? And I was like, for someone who's so in touch with their emotions. Anyway, and then, but this is where Adrian starts getting under Brayden's skin because Brayden starts like holding his cup like from the bottom. Like I feel like it's like a man thing. Like it's like you don't hold when you're mad and trying to show your masculine aggression. Like you don't hold the cup normal anymore. You hold it from the bottom like it's a rock. He starts drinking like that. Anyway, so these two have leveled up. They're now level 2 enemies from level 1. Meanwhile, Joey and Charity are having a great time. They kiss. Joey reveals that his parents are divorced because his dad is gay. He came out while they were married, but they co-parent and they still care about each other and have a nice relationship. So maybe we'll see Joey's fun gay dad at the hometowns. Wouldn't that be great? And spoiler alert, he gets the rose. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, Jesse pops in. to the mansion. He says there's gonna be no cocktail party tonight, but that's because fire up the grill, we're having a barbecue. So all the boys are happy about that. Probably, I bet they did this because it had been raining for so long and they were like, oh my gosh, it's a nice day, let's get on the barbecue. It's like, let's enjoy this. Okay, like Sean must have said something because I made a note saying that he looks like an animated Disney prince, which he does. His eyes are like the eyes of a Siberian husky. Anyway, Dotton takes the hot seat, and he hits her with some, he said, I'm gonna hit you with some realness, or he says something, I don't know, I wrote that down. I hope he said it. Hits her with some realness. Shows his resident alien card from, and it has a picture from when he was a kid, when he came over here, when he moved over here, which was sweet. And he says he carries it with him all the time. So that's nice. And then they kiss. And I think Dotton is a real contender. I mean, I guess I'll talk more about my predictions later, but I think I think she's saving a really, like one of the dates in the foreign countries for him. I just have a feeling. Anyway, Tanner sits down. He tells her that he's here for the right reasons. That's a real panty dropper, Tanner. It's like, forget it. And then Sean shows her how to golf in an unbuttoned shirt, which to me is an ick. It just looks so douchey to me. It's like, I don't want to learn how to golf and I don't want to be around your unbuttoned shirt. Anyway, Brayden says he's back with the guy. They just keep like having these sound bites of Brayden kind of sounding a little douchey, which like he gets a little annoying, but anyway, he says the pursuit of love is selfish. True. But he's getting the villain edit. I don't really think he's done anything wrong. I wish they would just show more of Aaron S.'s bitchy comments. I mean, that would be better. We don't need to see anybody get in a fight. We just need to see people making little asides. Or both, just both. Anyway, then Brayden steals Charity and he wants to talk to her about how uncomfortable he was with the kissing contest that she had with Joey. And he straight up tells her that he questioned his character, which is not a red flag for her. But what is a red flag for her is then after this conversation, she has a conversation with Adrian in which he spills the beans that Brayden said that he thought it was a classless maneuver. So she's fine with him, from the horse's mouth, that Brayden questions her character, but not fine being called classless. So love is, there are no rules, and we don't know what we'll accept and what we will reject when it comes to this, because this is like a little crazy. Anyway, long story short, she sits with Brayden. He says that he was uncomfortable with the kiss. She's like, I'm trying to balance, I want to make sure Joey feels good, but I also want you to be honest with me if you feel uncomfortable, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I also have to walk this tightrope. Anyway, it goes well, and Brayden decides he's not going to leave. He had kept talking about packing his bags. Then Adrian takes the seat, and it was really nice because he starts out by saying that he knows that the spring break comment is weighing heavily on her, and that it wasn't really it's not all that bad. Like he kind of maybe he over embellished, which I thought was so nice, but then he ruins it by immediately throwing Brayden under the bus again and saying that he said a mean thing about Charity, which is also it's mean to do that. It's mean to tell people that somebody said something mean about you. So anyway, so Charity's offended by that, and then she walks off they walk back down the path, and I made note that she and Adrian match in their outfits. She's wearing like a really cute orange shirt and like also like a pink, like she had a little pink jacket. It looked like a little bit of sherbet, and I think his shorts were pink. They looked good together. Anyway, then it comes out that, cause she says again to the group, like, I don't appreciate, I don't know. She says something, I think, bothered by the classless comment. And the boys are like, who was the last person to talk to her? Like, what happened? Like, well, who put Charity in a bad mood? And then Adrian's like, well, it was me because I ran my mouth. And Xavier's like, why did you run his mouth? And then Braden is pissed at this point, and he just sits there and rolls his eyes. Adrian kind of yammers on and on and on. So I would say, you know, Braden's the one getting the villain edit, but Adrian's not looking so hot either. Anyway, at this point in the show, there's like a commercial every 30 seconds, and all of the Bachelorette fans must be diabetics with Crohn's disease, because every single commercial is for if you have diabetes or Crohn's. Okay, then we do roses. So 3 roses have been given out already. Aaron B has the first rose from the Hollywood sign. John has a rose from the dodgeball date night. And Joey has a rose from his record-setting kiss. So there's 16 men left on the chopping block, and 5 get cut. And I noticed that when Charity got out of the car to do roses, she truly looked like she was going to vomit. So she's having fun on the dates, but she's not having so much fun having to be mean to people. Okay, so Dotton, he gets a rose. Tanner gets a rose. Caleb B gets a rose. Warwick gets a rose. Michael gets a rose. Sean, Xavier, Aaron S, James, Adrian, and Braden. They all get roses. Those who are cut are John Henry, R.I.P. I know we'll be seeing him in Paradise. He's so hot. Josh from Harvard is cut. Spencer is cut, which thank God, because I was guessing that he was on the spectrum, which is, if that is the case, everybody who is commenting on him in like all the other podcasts and things that I listen to about the show are being so mean to him. Like, they're like calling him a psychopath, but I think he's just a little bit, he doesn't get social cues as well. I don't know. I don't think he's a psychopath. Anyway, so I was kind of glad that he's gone, because I didn't want to see him be victimized by the internet. And then Caleb K in construction went home, and Caleb A with the twists went home. So that means I didn't realize there were 3 Calebs, but now there's only one, the one I like, the wrestler. And then they cut to bloopers, and they all were shaving their bikini lines when they did that dodgeball, which I thought, I didn't know that men did that. And that made me, I just love that. I thought that was so endearing that they all had to shave their bikini lines. So there's 14 men left standing. And so here's my final 4 predictions. I think Dotton stays to the end. I don't know if he wins, but he's going to be final 3. I think Aaron B might. I feel like it might. They seem like they have maybe too much in common, and he does seem a little bit boring to me. But she also said she kept saying how much fun she was having on the date, and they were kissing during that whole country music segment. So yeah, I think there's a good chance he's going to be final 3. And then Joey, I think he might not be final 3, but he's definitely going to make it to hometowns with that gay dad. And I also think that he is being primed to be the next Bachelor. I think Joey's going to be the next Bachelor. Xavier is not getting much screen time, but he was so hot watching him play dodgeball. Oh my God. And I liked that he was annoyed at Adrian. And I have a feeling that they're kind of like not giving him a lot of airtime, because they're going to reveal the love story later in the season, and she's going to give him a really good date when they're in a foreign country, because he's just like too hot and fun and cool to be to not be a sleeper hit. I think he's not even really a sleeper hit. I think it's just like we're just not seeing it. So I think the final 3 I think is going to be Dotton, Aaron B, and Xavier. Final 4, I think Joey's going to be there. I thought Braden might be final 4, but because he's getting the villain edit, I think he might stay to like final 6. Because I personally think he's kind of annoying too, but she also seems to really like him. So every time she's with him, she's like having so much fun giggling and like da 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 da. So he might stick around for a while. The guys that are left, there's Caleb B. I think she's curious about him because when she saw him, she was like, oh, I love a cowboy. But I don't think he's endgame. She did giggle when she gave Tanner his rose at the rose ceremony, so maybe they have more fun than they let on. But then, like, I don't know, like, I'm here for the right reasons. Like, they're not really showing any of his personality. And then John, I think she's just not that into him. I don't think he is masculine enough. Which is not to say I like John a lot. I think he's hot and like I think he's masculine enough. But I think she really likes like a big, strong guy who's afraid to talk about his feelings. Who's like, she's just impressed that he says that he has trouble with vulnerability and not actually good at being vulnerable. You know what I mean? So, those are my predictions. And you know, I honestly like can't wait we keep seeing that clip of her saying that she is just gonna cut that shit off. Charity is sassy as hell. So I can't wait to see that pop out because she's also, this Barbie is the Bachelorette. Anyway, that's it for me. I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.